But now that's a part of my repertoire. I'll be asking them, when we be at the doctor's office, they be saying stuff. I was like, no, what is that? And I'll ask over and over and over, what was today? I learned something today about a sport. What was it? It's huh? It's, if you stay out of the sermon, we keep going. No, I'm just playing. No, it's okay, it's not squash, or is it squash? What's squash? What's with the little black ball? It's with the little black ball, whatever. Is that squash? Yeah. So I didn't know what that was. Well, I guess I really don't have it all down now either, do I, Tracy? But I asked, and actually me and Harrison, we asked at the same time, like, what is that? What does that mean? As opposed to, yeah, squash back in it. Come on, seriously? Newark, New Jersey? Well, nobody playing squash. So just trying to, taking the time to find out what we don't know, to keep growing. And we don't say it, but we watch a lot of people that actually front like they know stuff. Like you probably see it, but it's a lot of people that don't know stuff. I'm talking about people with degrees. So maybe they did enough to pass the test, but they didn't absorb the information. So they really don't know. But you be giving them props on their accolades, and you be like, you know this already, don't you? And so they're making themselves look stupid by acting like you're going years. Why bother? You could just actually find out the information, right? And that's why it's important. Help. Like, we really need people, and God set it up for us to benefit from people. In Acts chapter 18, I thought this was interesting. This was, God was moving Paul along. So as he was moving Paul along, you remember, now look at how he set Paul up. He knocked him off the horse and he blinded him. But he couldn't get his sight back without help. So he sent him to Ananias. But then again, God was working on Ananias to trust him to go help somebody that everybody was afraid of. Because everybody was afraid of Paul. He's like, you talking about Paul? You talking about the dude that's wreaking havoc? He said, man, no. Like, God's talking to him, but Ananias is like, no. He said, listen, trust me. I'm going to do something with him. But I need you to help him, and that's going to be a benefit to you. So he does that. Paul keeps going through. So Paul gets to a place where God's sending him into Corinth, and he says in here, verse 9, the Lord spake, Acts 18, verse 9, the Lord spake unto Paul in the night by a vision. Be not afraid, but speak and hold not thy peace. So express what I want you to express, even though I know you're thinking they ain't going to want to hear what you have to say. He says, for I am with thee, and no man shall set on thee to hurt thee. So you're not going to be hurt. But then look at after the colon, he said, but I have much people in this city. But see, that's what he's saying to us. Oh, I got much people around you. But you ain't going to know who's walking in the light if you ain't shining your light. He says I have much people. When I was at Ohio State and corrections, what was so intriguing is you would see, let's say maybe 15 to 20 people trying to get themselves together. And they would be thinking like, man, it's just so hard because a lot of people are not living this way. I said, yeah, but you got like 20 or 30 y'all. If y'all just got together, you've just turned yourselves into peer pressure. The challenge is you're not coming together. If everybody's in agreement, just all of us, if all of us are in agreement, that we've just turned into peer pressure. See, God has much people in the city. They're looking for you. But if you're trying to be alone, they can't find you. They can't find their connect and where they need to fit. Right? So that it's important that we recognize that. And so what we're going to have to do is, because the scripture says in a multitude of counsel their safety, we got to change our presentation. Our presentation has to be welcoming. So when we're around people, we have to be welcoming. Like we scaring people away. No, you want to be welcoming. You want to be inviting. I was talking to well, he's not coaching now, but a former coach that I had the opportunity to marry. So he he was talking about another coach. The guy called him up because his brother has a position in Ohio. And so he was like, he says, well, he called me to get the position. He says, you know what? So I was telling him, I said, oh, no. I said, listen, I talk to him all the time. I said, as far as you guys' profession, don't nobody have a character like him. And not only that, he said, I know. He was as soon as I said, he's like, I know. Like, he said, I've never met nobody that in the profession with his type of character. I said, well, it ain't just character. I said, he's a great coach. I said, you know he's coached in the arena? I said, he was a GM and he was a coach in the arena. And then I said, he's coached here. I said, he actually knows the game. He said, you know what his problem is? And he said, his problem is, like, he don't talk about himself. He said, so you can get lost in this profession if people don't know about you. And I said, it's so interesting. That was our first conversation when I met him. He was struggling to get in the NFL, but he figured I'm good. But what happened is people would be looking at him from over here. He was quiet, and they would look at him and was like, you think I should say something? I don't know. Well, I might break him. You know, I don't want to break him. Or they would go, he might snap. Well, I don't know. You go talk to him. Well, I don't know. Let's go talk to this guy that's coming to talk to us all the time. So I told him, I said, listen, man, you got to start talking to people. I said, don't make the mistake I made. Because I thought that. I figured you good. You just play. I didn't know you had to talk to people. All these people would be giving me their cars at camps and stuff like that. I was like, oh, all these people going to call me. I was supposed to call them. I ain't. And then one guy told me, he said, Keith, people need to, like, know you're interested. You need to be talking to people. I said, oh. I was on my own. I was alone. I didn't know to interact and to have exchange and to fellowship. And how I got the information, that I was just tired. So I talked to this guy. I didn't know he was an agent. I said, man, you know, nobody never told me I was wasting my time. I said, every time I go to these camps, I'm outstanding. I said, but if somebody tell me I'm wasting my time, I'm done. I won't even play no more. He said, oh, no, you can play for somebody. And we developed a relationship. The first time I decided to talk to somebody. I should have been talking to people the whole time. So it's you see how, but we sit back and in a corner and think people are going to be excited. Sometimes they don't know how to read you. So you want to be welcoming. That's the key. You want to be welcoming. You want to, the scripture says in Genesis, he says it's not good for man to be alone. So then when he brought Adam and Eve together, he said they were naked and unashamed. Transparent and vulnerable. That's the key to relationships. Even your relationships with church, your relationship with work, you're easy to read. Not people how people misunderstand you? Well, they misunderstand you because you're making it hard for yourself to read. You know, you don't have to do all that when you open yourself up and you're easy to read and opening yourself up to help and assistance. You know, even like I ended up getting a job. This is the other lesson I learned. I'm working at a place. Figure you good, they promote you. I already had the job in New York. I just never had it in Ohio. But I just figured after a while, you know, they'll see this dude. I work in corrections. No riots. You know, this guy, he has the worst unit. Is working like clockwork. Promote this guy. This is what I'm thinking. So a guy walks up to me one day. He says, Keith, how come you don't apply for none of these jobs? I said, I figure you good. They just promote you. He said, Keith, people need to know you're interested. I said, huh? He said, Keith, like, people need to know you're interested. So what I did was, that was the amen over there, that slap. All right, so what I did was, I said, okay, next time something come up, I'll apply. So I'd apply. And see, you know how the thing that you greatly fear comes upon you? Well, I didn't want to apply and they was going to be playing games. So I applied and they gave the position to somebody that didn't qualify for an interview. I overqualified for an interview. Because for the state, you got to qualify to even get an interview. And so I said, I don't understand. How come they didn't even call me for the interview? So the guy said, so now I'm talking to people now. So I went to the superintendent. I said, I don't get this. I said, listen, I know I qualified. He says, well, let's look at your application. He says, I'm not supposed to do this. Goes and looks at the application. He says, is these all the courses you've taken? I said, well, there's no room on there to put all the courses I've taken. He says, well, you're supposed to attach an addendum. I said, show me on that application where it tells you attach an addendum. He says, well, they don't tell you that. He says, but all you got to do is attach the addendum. So I attached an addendum because I had tons of courses. He said, you get points for every course you've taken. I said, ain't nobody tell me that. He says, so you basically get the interview based on the points you get. It's not even personal. I said, well, I got plenty of points. So I ended up getting an interview. You know, eventually I ended up getting a job. But you see how it's interacting and talking to people, and I went to ask for some help and found out how to do it the right way. I would have never known that if I would have been like, see, they tripping, man. They trying to play me, you know, as opposed to benefiting from help. And so we've been talking about it a lot lately, how, you know, there's a battle, people are struggling, but they're not utilizing their assistance. They're not utilizing their help. They're not taking the time to find out what they don't know from the people that may do know it. And so we got to come out of our own protective custody. And what's so tough is it's not just church, it's not just work, and it starts like in relationships. You know, you guys went through it when the premarital courtship, killing the power of a secret. You know, like you come in with hiding, and you figure, if I don't say nothing, won't nobody know. You know, and the person that you're spending the rest of your life with, guess what? They won't know either. And now, but the whole time, that person's sensing there's a disconnect. And they sense, like, you know, in the movies, in the war movies, they got the landmines that you don't see until you step on it. And you stepped on it, and they're like, you can't move. If you move, everything gonna blow up. Well, you got like landmines, you know, that nobody knows about. And actually, you've planted these landmines, and you forgot about them too. So the person comes and steps on the landmine, everything blows up. They don't know what's going on. You can't tell them what's going on. That's not healthy. See, again, one of the things I realized is if this is the person I'm spending the rest of my life with, my best friend. So John 15:13, no greater love than this than a man has for his friend. He'll lay down his life for his friend. So I got to lay down my protective custody because this is my best friend. So that means I have to trust her. I could be vulnerable and she won't take advantage of it. So I have to leave competition and competitiveness, and I have to enter into a covenant. So so listen, I'm trusting you with the deepest, darkest secrets. You know, you can hurt me. Now, so if you don't handle this right, I'll have to. No, I'm just. But that's we've gone through different stages of church, but we shared that with the church one time. We was like, we're in a position where y'all can hurt us because we're open. Now, some of y'all y'all got so many guards and walls and panic rooms up. Can't nobody hurt you, but can't nobody help you either. That's not fair. Y'all need to be transparent with us, but I'm going to hide. Something's wrong with the relationship there. And you'll find yourself, you know how like you come in and you think the temperature's a certain way, but you check the thermostat and you realize the reality of what the temperature really is. You don't snatch the thermostat off the wall, do you? You just adjust the temperature, right? Well, there's a place where we think we're at. But the temperature is reading panic, snapping, going off. You know, it'll be coming out like because what happens is you've developed this safeguard. You know, some people create like safeties against themselves. Like, well, I don't trust me either. So just in case you get past all the guards, I got like remember the movies where they had what was the movie? I think it was Professional. And then so when they got into when they broke into his hideout or whatever, he could just hit a button and the whole thing will blow up. We got stuff like that. Well, we've had